When your inner world changes, your outer world changes. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share something that could completely transform your life. We spend so much time trying to change our outer world. We look for better jobs, better relationships, more money, better health. But here's the strange thing. No matter how hard we try, sometimes it feels like nothing really changes. Why is that? Neville Goddard, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of the 20th century, gave us the answer: everything depends on your attitude toward yourself. Today, we're going to explore what this really means, and how changing your inner world can completely transform your outer reality. Where does real change begin? Let me ask you something. Do you want to create a new life? Most people think like this: if I join the right company, my life will change. If this politician wins, the world will get better. If I join this group, I'll be saved. But here's what Neville Goddard says: that's not enough. Because the real problem we're facing goes much deeper than we think. Real change, true transformation, must happen inside us first. Think about it. If you believe you're a failure, will joining a successful company suddenly make you successful? If you feel unworthy of love, will starting a new relationship suddenly make you feel loved? The answer is no. Why? Because your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. What you don't accept within yourself can never become real in your life. What renew your mind really means. The Bible says in Romans chapter 122, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. This is a powerful ancient principle. We often hear, "Change your thoughts." But here's the truth: changing your thoughts isn't enough. You need to change your conception of yourself. What's the difference? Your thoughts are like waves on the surface of water. Your self-conception is like the deep current underneath. And your deepest self-conception is your answer to one question: who am I? Let me give you an example. Someone thinks, "I want to make more money." But deep down, their self-conception is, "I'm a poor person," or "I don't deserve money." No matter how hard they try or how positive they think, their reality will reflect their deep self-conception. Because we don't become what we think. We become who we believe we are. True meaning of religion: finding yourself in solitude. The great philosopher Alfred North Whitehead defined religion as what the individual does with his own solitariness. Neville Goddard adds, religion is knowing who you are in your own solitude. This is revolutionary. We usually think of religion as something we do with other people in churches or temples. But true religion, true spirituality, is a personal experience that happens in solitude. Think about it. You could go to church every day, pray every day, do every religious ritual perfectly. But if it doesn't give you a deep, unshakable sense that everything is okay, no matter what happens in life, then it has no real value. True religion, true spirituality, comes from your deep personal belief and inner experience. It happens when you face yourself in solitude and discover who you really are. Just like charity begins at home, religion begins within your own consciousness. Consciousness creates reality. Here's the core of Neville Goddard's teaching: consciousness creates reality. Man cannot see what is not in his consciousness. This isn't just philosophy. This is how the universe actually works. If you're not conscious of something, it doesn't exist for you. Even if it exists objectively, if you're not aware of it, it might as well not exist in your world. But flip that around: if you become conscious of something, It becomes your reality. Let me give you an example with opportunity. Two people walk down the same street. One person thinks, I'm unlucky. Good opportunities always go to other people. The other person thinks, I'm blessed. Good opportunities always come to me. They pass the same stores, meet the same people. But these two people see and experience completely different worlds. Why? Because their consciousness is different. The first person doesn't see opportunities. The second person does. This isn't magic. This is just how consciousness works. Imagine your ideal self in solitude. So how do we change our consciousness? How do we transform our self-conception? Neville Goddard gives us a specific method in solitude. Imagine your ideal self. This isn't just positive visualization. This is actually becoming that state. The Bible says in Ephesians 4:23-25, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and put on the new self. What does put on the new self mean? It means you wear the consciousness of the person you want to be right now, in this moment. Let me give you a practical method. First, find time to be alone. Go to a quiet place where no one will disturb you. Close your eyes. Second, imagine that your goal has already been achieved. But here's the key: don't imagine it as something in the future. Feel like it's true right now. For example, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, don't imagine, someday I will be successful. Instead, feel, I am a successful entrepreneur right now. How would that successful entrepreneur feel when they wake up in the morning? What confidence would they have? What decisions would they make? How would they talk to people? Third, live in that feeling. Experience the feeling of your wish fulfilled right now. Feel that sensation, that certainty, that peace. Do this every day, and soon, you'll actually become that ideal version of yourself. Because your consciousness has changed. And when consciousness changes, reality changes. Who am I? Is the most important. Most people constantly look at their world and ask, what should I do? What's going to happen? But Neville Goddard says this is the wrong question. The right question is, who am I? What is my self-conception? How you define yourself determines what you do and what you experience. I call this the priority of being. Action doesn't create being. Being creates action. Many people think, if I work hard, I'll be successful. Then I'll be a successful person. But actually it's the opposite. If I believe I'm a successful person, I'll naturally act like a successful person. Then success will follow. Neville Goddard says it this way: the end of desire is always to be, not to do. If you desire something, you don't want to do it. You want to be it. Someone who desires love doesn't want to do loving things. They want to be a loved person. Someone who desires freedom doesn't want to do free things. They want to be a free person. So the answer is clear: first, be it. Be it in consciousness first. Then the outer reality will follow. We have the power to change the. Some people say, the world is cruel. Reality is harsh and unchangeable. You can't change anything with imagination or love. But Neville Goddard says this is the most dangerous belief. Because it means you're rejecting the only power you have. The power to change the world. Your consciousness is your greatest power. The greatest purpose of your consciousness is to transform reality and create a better world. This isn't just about personal success. This is about the whole world. Think about it. When one person changes from fear consciousness to love consciousness, they affect everyone they meet. When one person changes from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness, the economy around them changes. When one person changes from weakness consciousness to strength consciousness, their whole community changes. We're all connected. One person's change in consciousness spreads like ripples and transforms the whole. So when you transform yourself, it's not selfish. It's the greatest service you can do for the world. Mental knowledge versus spiritual. Here's an important distinction. Mental knowledge and spiritual knowledge are completely different. Mental knowledge comes from outside. We read books, listen to lectures, compare and analyze. This is the knowledge of separation. The subject and object are separate. But spiritual knowledge comes from inside. This is the knowledge of unity. You become it. You know it because you are it. For example, you can know about love mentally. You can memorize the definition of love, understand the chemistry of love, study all the philosophy about love. But until you actually fall in love, you don't know love spiritually. You have to experience love to truly know what it is. Similarly, you can know about success, abundance, health, and peace mentally. But until you become it in consciousness, you don't know it spiritually. Neville Goddard's method is the method of spiritual knowledge. In solitude, in subjective experience, you become what you want. You experience it in imagination. Then it becomes part of your consciousness and soon part of your reality. Your ideal state is waiting to be. Neville Goddard uses a beautiful metaphor. He says your ideal state is always seeking to be made visible, but it can't be born into the world unless you play the role of parent. What does this mean? Your dream, your ideal, the person you want to become, it already exists. It's waiting for you in the realm of possibility. Like an unborn child, it's ready to come into this world. But for it to actually be born, it needs a parent. That parent is you. How do you play the parent role? You conceive it, nurture it, and give birth to it in consciousness. Specifically, first, clearly define what you want. You need to know what it is. Second, accept it in consciousness. Affirm, this is mine. This is who I'm becoming. Third, nurture it daily in imagination. Experience the feeling, stay in that state. Fourth, let it naturally come into the world. Don't force it. Like a natural birth, it will come when it's ready. When you play this parent role, your ideal must become reality. It's a law of the universe. Practice start. So how can you put all this into practice? Tonight, before you go to sleep, do this. 1. Lie down or sit comfortably. 2. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Relax your body. 3. Ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? 4. Think of your ideal self. Imagine being that person. 5. Here's the most important part: enter into the feeling of that state. Not, someday I will be like that, but, I am like that now. 6. Imagine your ideal self talking to a friend. The friend congratulates you. You did it. You became that person. How would you respond? How would that feel? 7. Experience this feeling as vividly as possible. Feel gratitude, joy, peace, certainty. 8. Fall asleep in this state. Repeat this every night. At first, it might feel strange. Your logical mind will say, this isn't real. That's okay. Keep going. Over time, this will become more natural. And at some point, you'll realize that your outer reality has started to change. Why? Because your consciousness has changed. And when consciousness changes, reality changes. Closing you are the. Let me summarize the core message we've shared today. Everything depends on your attitude toward yourself. What you don't affirm within yourself can never grow in your world. Real change doesn't come from outside. It comes from inside. How you answer the question, "Who am I?" determines your entire life. The end of desire is not to do, but to be. First, be it. Then the rest will follow. You are much more powerful than you think. Your consciousness has the power to change the world. But this power doesn't just come from action. This power comes from who you are and what you're conscious of. In solitude, in quiet time, face yourself. Imagine your ideal self. Feel that state. Become it. Then you'll see the world change. Or more accurately, you'll experience the world looking different because you have changed. Neville Goddard said, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Start practicing this today. Renew your mind, your consciousness, your self-conception. If you want a greater and better world, first affirm that a greater and better you exists within you. You are the creator. Your consciousness is the power of creation. Now, what will you create? I hope this video inspired you today. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I truly hope your consciousness awakens and you create the life you desire. Thank you.